go to Utah. Enjoying the drive to Zion so much more, since we're getting to enjoy every minute of this 8-hour epic crawl. And here Blondie drinks out of a pee bottle. Because...
What?
Ooh! She isn't glaring at me. I think she doesn't like the pattern on the wall. 2 a.m. 3 a.m. at the Water Canyon trailhead. It feels way too early. So this is basically a peak I did years ago, and the approach is third class up past some waterfalls, and I thought, oh, Taters will really love this, and it's been on the list to do ever since, and we're finally doing it. So this has been kind of a long-term breakfast thing. Copied it out of a paleo meal years ago. It's almond flour, flax seeds, some dried fruit, and coconut sugar. It's decent enough. It's more filling than oatmeal. It also has the consistency of snot. So one could call it breakfast snot.
I would prefer to say it has the consistency of cream of wheat.
Ew. Oh, that's disgusting. See? Breakfast snot.
Matt, stop playing with your food.
So contrary to what it may appear, we are actually in the state of Utah, not the state of disapproval. Well, I'm pretty sure Taters lives in the state of disapproval, quasi-permanently. No complaining. If you don't want to be on video, then I get to say whatever I want. Wow. So many looks this morning. Because it's like a fashion thing. You can wear it inside, you can wear it outside. You can just MasoTater any way you want. What? You don't come up with these things. Unfortunately, this time of year, it is really cold, and obviously we don't get sunlight super early in these canyons. So we used to do this pretty much every weekend, and we were really, really good at packing up on short notice, going out to the middle of nowhere, and then, compiling our stuff. Unfortunately, we were on trail, some of us for, 10 plus months. So I'm used to having my one pair of everything on my back. It's actually kind of hard to remember, oh yeah, we need that from there, that from there. Yeah. So this is Canaan Mountain, which is basically part of the Vermilion Cliffs area, which means it's really, really pretty. Assuming we make the summit, there's just a spectacular view of Zion off to the north. Don't you hate it when your stick's too long for your pouch? No comment? Underappreciated in my time. So this was why I was saying there's a whole bunch of these camp spots along the way. We're just admiring the potential climbs up on the walls. Funny thing about the rock here though, in the greater Zion area, is a lot of it is not the strongest, so it flakes off, so you actually can't climb. There are certain peaks you can't hike to, you can't scramble to. And the only way you can do them is aid climbing, which means you're hanging little pieces of gear on these cracks that are probably going to break if you weight them too heavily. Okay, so here's the start of the canyon proper. Yay! That is going to make Taters so happy. Oh, now it's cold. And here we're testing, actually, she's in approach shoes. I'm in my thru hiking shoes. So if anybody's gonna fall, it's gonna be me, of course. This is basically the reason why we came and did this side instead of the easy side. Because it's a cool canyon, and Taters loves cool canyons and waterfalls. So depending on the time of year, I guess a lot of water comes down here, but this time of year, it's usually good for scrambling. Now we go up that. So the fun part of scramble routes is you got to figure out what the route is. I almost sent Miss Taters there up that, and then who knows what would have happened. And I'm like, oh wait, obvious rock route right there.
Sometimes we just do all the routes.
She's 10 years younger, so You know, the efficient thing to do is I conserve energy. That way, if there's a rescue that needs to be done, I can be the designated survivor. And I send little Miss Young in there scrambling up and down. Okay, we're warmed up now. Okay, so, yes, Taters, it's giggling. And we are going down and looking for the start of the ramps to start climbing steeply up, which gets third class. I did this once years ago. I remember there being a few spots you really had to watch. Oh, I have missed it out here. So a lot of the moves out here are sandstone, which means we have to friction on the rock, which, if you're a little Taters, you don't have that much weight to carry. If you're a fat masochist, it's a little harder. And if we're out here after dark, this is why Taters is reclining in bushes.
Hey.
Whack them bushes. This is the second principle of leave no trace. Leave no trace of that bush.
No comment.
Welcome to Utah. Views like that, not a national park. Anything else like that, just BLM. Any other state, they'd make it a national park. Utah, they're like, yeah, it's BLM. And we're probably going to try and take it and drill for oil. So we came up some light third class, no big deal. Now we are walking over to connect with the normal route out of Squirrel Canyon, and there's another trailhead on the east side that I always forget the name of. So you can actually drive to the top of this peak if you have no sense of fun and adventure and don't want to climb up awesome waterfalls. But you know, you do you. You do you. Okay, finally found the right slot. That's the road up there. What passes for a road anyway. I do love desert terrain because you actually really have to nav back here. If you're not paying attention, it's easy to go down the wrong canyon. And then you've got route finding, especially back here. Because the sandstone tends to kind of crumble under your feet. So even some sections I could friction across, like down there. No way, because one little slip and you're just done. It does feel really good to be back out here though. Not a blaze to be seen. A few ducks. So I'm not 100%, but those kind of distinct white bumps off to the left before everything goes red, I'm pretty sure those are the guardian angels. I led those years ago. Yes, I know what you're all thinking. The person closer to the big death-defying drop is the person with the life insurance policy. Oh, walking in the sand kind of sucks. So there used to be a tram up here, and this is the remains. You can see they kind of cut a hole through the rock. And there's the old tower. And there, for those who think that Jen is getting old, she still says things like, sick. Oh.
Compressing Jen is feeble.
Yeah, can we up your life insurance first? So it's not that uncommon out in the mountains out west. A lot of times they brought lumber up or down or other supplies. Up in the Inyo Mountains, there's actually a whole salt tram that they restored that's really cool. It's got kind of like a Conan thrown on it.
Wait, Matt, are you sure you fully captured that cliff? That was a really cool cliff. I think that's the coolest moment of this hike so far.
Okay, I was watching this documentary called 300. You have to bend over and look down, and I go, this is Utah! And then I go do the Te Aurora. Teamwork! Team MasoTater! The sand does really slow me down with my knees. Almost to the summit though. So this summit is obviously just kind of a bump at the end of a bunch of cross country. But what impressed me last time was how spectacular the views were off in the distance. You get a view of Zion without all those, people. So yeah, that's it. No big deal. That's some little thing over there called Zion. I don't know. Those other guardian angels. We're going to be backpacking up there. Doing some peak back there. So yeah, the entire time people were talking about the green tunnel ain't so bad, it's pretty. This is the sort of thing I'm picturing. Okay, it is cold and it is 3 o'clock, so we got to book it down because we've got 7.5 miles, and it gets dark in 2.5 hours or so, we think. Ugh. And obviously trying to film all the Blondie talking. It's just yabber, yabber, yabber. All these insightful comments. That dialogue coach really worked out for us.
It's so...
And now we have the point where we really wish we didn't spend that long on the summit, or that we'd woken up earlier, because it is going to be dark in like an hour, and this is going to be all sorts of fun at this point. Exposure is no big deal when you can't see it, right? So these little nodules actually come out of the sandstone. You can sometimes see them still sticking out. As the sandstone wears away, they kind of collect down here. Make a really good tripping hazard. You get to like do the ball bearing thing. So yeah, here's more of those little balls that end up coming loose and rolling around. See, cool little rock balls. So this is part of an area called Vermilion Cliffs, and if you see kind of the really cool rocks like that, everybody knows about the Wave. There's one little famous canyon that people go to take pictures. But there's also Vermilion Cliffs, Coyote Buttes North, and this place called White Pocket. White Pocket requires no permit. You just have to have a four-wheel drive vehicle and be willing to slalom up the sand for like 7 miles. It's really exciting. You just floor it and keep going. And then it's really spectacular. And it's not one little spot. It's all these really cool rock formations that have more like deep reds and whiter whites. It's on my website. I went and did the high point. Ooh. So desert sunsets are always really, really pretty. And I would know because I have somewhat of a long storied history of seeing them from like 3,000 feet above the cars, which our car, it's not 3,000 feet, but it's way down there. It's going to get dark. So I get to enjoy the entire beauty of the sunset and then the darkness and then hiking down in the darkness and all the grumbling from whoever happens to be with me. Versus other people, they get to the cars and go home and they don't get to see the pretty views.
I don't grumble. Other people might grumble, but I don't grumble.
So if you go on YouTube, there is an Onion parody called Horrible Planet, the desert where life goes to die, that is amazing and very accurate. Just saying. Don't ask her. She thinks that you should watch something that the Onion produced called Sex House because it really looks like her father stars in it. Weird thing. And it is amazing. From where it starts to where it goes. Sex House. It's going to seem like bullshit reality TV, but stick with it. Yes, you adored it. You just thought it was the weirdest thing. It's amazing.
I don't get that at all.
Oh. So this is fun. We're just trying to hit the start of the little third class bit. We're on a trail, but there are lots of trails, so we're having to keep a close eye on a GPS track I have. And not fall, or cliff out. Walking down a cliff face. Nothing like third class down climbs in the dark. Will you please slip or something? Because now there's all this pressure on me to be able to do it. And now we're past the cruxy bits, and it's just a matter of walking out and trying not to trip at the last minute. Trust your feet, but not too much. Okay, so 9 to 7:30, just a couple of hours in the dark. We've done worse, so much worse. Not me, you understand, but my friends make me hike late nights all the time. And now, this parking lot shall once again be home sweet home for the night.
Home sweet home.
No, you only say that when we have the tent. Welcome back to the West, where you actually sweat and things actually dry. So what are you making, Blondie?
Burritos.
Good description.
With turkey and broccoli and onions and peppers.
And the champagne. Don't forget the champagne.
And almond champagne.
That is a key ingredient. Also, we're getting blown around by a decidedly cold wind here. It is bitterly, bitterly cold with wind, so we are hiding in the tent, eating our burritos and drinking our champagne.